I think, overall it's been like mostly pretty good. I think it's been a couple of disappointing early losses and a couple where I felt like I've pushed some of those real top few and haven't quite got the win and things like that. So I think it's been a pretty steady season by my standards, but not winning those titles that I wanted to be pushing for and things like that. A couple of finals, but didn't manage to actually win either of those, so that was a bit disappointing and whatever. But I think to be back at the World Tour Finals again is always a sign that you've done pretty well over the year, and something to absolutely not take for granted. So I think that shows that overall I had a pretty decent season, and there were sort of glimpses of the squash that I wanted to play, and so I'll be looking to sort of make that happen more consistently over the next year for sure. Definitely struggled in the first part of the season with a bit of an injury, and that wasn't allowing me to sort of train as much as I wanted, and that affects you not only physically but mentally, so you haven't quite got that confidence in how you want to play and things. So that was really challenging, and I think that's in a good place now, and that'll be something that we're looking to then just keep building on and build. My physicality takes time to build, and it's definitely in a good place, and so I'm looking to keep pushing that forward. And keep the niggles away. So that's always a good start. But I think the consistency, and I think then once you start being able to push consistently there, then I can actually not only build my physicality but my squash, and keep the mental consistency as well during the matches, and be able to keep my foot down on the gas for the whole time, and play, because I know the squash, when I play my best squash, I know that it can trouble any player in the world, and that's, I have confidence in that. I just have to then have the full confidence that I can do that for an hour and a half for 5 days in a row. And I've done it before. I know I can. So it's just getting back to that place for me. I think there's nothing major that I think needs to change in my game or anything like that. We're always working on the technical side and the patterns and things like that. And I think a lot of it is just keep plugging away at the mental side. I think also the skill level of all the players in the top 10 particularly has gone up as well, and it's good because I think it's fantastic to push the level up, and we've only seen that grow and grow and grow over the last couple of years, over the last 5 years, 10 years even. So that's fantastic, and there's a group sort of pushing along, and it's you used to get the odd player from outside the couple winning one of the really big events, whereas now I think it's a little bit more open, particularly with those top three sort of changing it around. But they've also got some of us knocking on the door there, trying to challenge them as well, which is, I think, is great for the sport, and it makes last 16 quarterfinals matches really exciting, rather than they're not foregone conclusions by any means. So I think it's something that's fantastic, and the physicality that those players have brought to the game has, I think, just really asked questions of the physicality of the other players as well. And but at the end of the day, I think the beauty of squash is that it can be about skill, it can be about mentality, it can be about physicality, and actually just because somebody might have you on one of them doesn't mean that you can't then win by having them on one or the others. And you're trying to find those chinks in the armour is part of the joy of playing, and trying to mentally work out how to get the better of a certain style of play, a certain specific physical strengths or weaknesses is just as interesting as well.